Have you ever thought about the role your family plays in shaping society? It might be more significant than you think. You see, families are the primary institutions for imparting values, ethics, and morals to the next generation. These values are not just words, but they act as a moral compass that guides our behavior throughout our lives. Let's take honesty, for example. It's a fundamental virtue we learn at home. Parents teach their children the importance of honesty from a young age, fostering a sense of integrity that stays with them as they grow older. Other values like empathy, kindness, and responsibility are also often nurtured within the family. Now, let's consider the family environment. This is where character is formed, where children learn to make ethical decisions, act with empathy, and demonstrate personal responsibility. These interactions with family members shape our character, molding us into the people we become. The values instilled within the family become integral to an individual's identity, shaping their worldview and their interactions with others. This process of value transmission and character cultivation is like building a house. The values we learn from our families are the bricks, and our character is the mortar holding those bricks together. The stronger the values, the stronger the house. The stronger the house, the more resilient it is in the face of life's storms. And just like a house, these values and character traits don't just serve the individual. They serve society as a whole. They guide our actions, our decisions, and our relationships, influencing how we interact with the world around us. They shape our communities, our workplaces, and our institutions. So, the next time you think about your family, consider the impact they've had on you, the values they've instilled, and the character they've helped shape. Because in doing so, you'll realize the crucial role your family plays in shaping the society we live in. So, the family lays the foundation of an individual's character, shaping the society we live in. But what happens when corruption seeps into the fabric of our society? That's a question we all need to ponder. Let's begin by looking at the erosion of trust. When corruption becomes a part of our daily lives, whether it's in our government, our workplace, or any other institution we interact with, it starts to chip away at the foundation of trust we've built in our society. It's like a termite infestation, hidden away in the corners, but gradually it weakens the entire structure. When the people we're supposed to trust are found to be dishonest or deceitful, it creates a ripple effect. The trust we have in our fellow citizens and institutions begins to crumble, and this can lead to social instability. Imagine a society where no one trusts each other, where every interaction is marred by suspicion and doubt. That's not a society any of us would want to live in, but it's an unfortunate reality in places where corruption is rampant. Now let's talk about the economic consequences. Corruption is like a leaky faucet siphoning off resources where they are most needed, leading to economic inefficiency. And let's not forget about the impact on poverty. When the rich get richer through corrupt practices, it only widens the gap between them and the poor. This creates a vicious cycle of poverty that's incredibly difficult to break. When corruption is unchecked, it hinders economic growth. It's like a roadblock that prevents society from reaching its full potential, creating a chasm between what could be and what is. And the damage doesn't stop there. Corruption also breeds inequality. It creates a divide in society where the rules don't apply equally to everyone. Some people get ahead not because of their skills or hard work, but because they have the right connections or the willingness to engage in corrupt practices. This leads to a sense of injustice among those who play by the rules, further eroding trust and driving a wedge between different sections of society. But the most insidious aspect of corruption is perhaps its ability to become normalized. When corrupt practices are commonplace, they start to be seen as just the way things are. This normalization of corruption is a dangerous trend because it stifles the will to fight against it. It creates a culture of acceptance where corruption is not only tolerated but expected. Corruption, therefore, not only damages trust but also hampers economic progress. It's a scourge that eats away at the very fabric of our society, creating a ripple of negative effects that can be felt by everyone. It's a problem that needs to be tackled head-on, and it's a battle that needs to be fought on multiple fronts, from the halls of power to the family dinner table. So as we delve deeper into the role of the family in combating corruption, let's remember the stakes. This is not just about preserving the integrity of our institutions, it's about safeguarding the very essence of our society. How then can the family, as the fundamental unit of society, combat corruption? This question takes us to the heart of our discussion today. Families are not just nurturing spaces, they are also learning grounds where the first lessons of life are imparted. One of the most crucial roles families play is in instilling a strong moral and ethical foundation in their children. This task is not as daunting as it may seem. Simply put, it is about teaching the young ones the importance of values like integrity, accountability, and transparency. These values, once internalized, become a part of the child's very character, guiding them to resist engaging in corrupt practices as they navigate the world. Parents, the first heroes of their children, have an added responsibility. They are the role models their children look up to. The actions of parents often speak louder than their words. When parents demonstrate honesty, fairness, and ethical behavior in their own lives, they are setting an example for their children to follow. Children, by nature, are excellent observers and imitators. They are more likely to emulate the behavior they observe in their family members. So when a child sees their parent standing up against corruption or refusing to partake in dishonest practices, they learn the value of integrity firsthand. Beyond setting an example, families can also cultivate an environment of open and honest communication. This doesn't mean just speaking the truth, but also encouraging discussions about ethical dilemmas and moral quandaries. It's about creating a safe space where children can voice their concerns, ask questions, and seek guidance on how to navigate complex situations. This kind of communication helps them understand the nuances of right and wrong and empowers them to make principled choices when confronted with corruption in society. Families, however, do not exist in isolation. They are part of communities, and their actions can influence societal norms. This brings us to the role of families in community engagement. Families can actively participate in civic activities like neighborhood councils, local governance, or community-based organizations. They can show support for anti-corruption initiatives or even engage in volunteer work that promotes transparency and accountability. By doing so, they not only set an example for their children, but also contribute to building a community that values integrity and despises corruption. In essence, the family's role in combating corruption is multifaceted. It is about nurturing individuals with strong moral compasses, setting personal examples of integrity, fostering open communication about ethics, and actively participating in community initiatives against corruption. Each of these aspects, in its own unique way, helps equip the next generation with the tools they need to resist corruption. So, whether it's teaching kids the value of honesty, modeling ethical behavior, encouraging open conversations about moral dilemmas, or engaging in community activities, families have a crucial role to play in the fight against corruption. Each family, in its own way, can contribute to the creation of a more transparent society. The family, therefore, plays a pivotal role in equipping the next generation to resist corruption and promote a more transparent society. It acts as a bulwark against corruption's corrosive effects on trust, economic stability, and social harmony. By prioritizing the importance of integrity and moral character, families contribute to a society built on principles of honesty, accountability, and transparency, creating a more resilient defense against corruption. So, what's the takeaway from all of this? Well, let's circle back to our primary point. The family, as the crux of society, wields an influential role in shaping individuals' values. It's within the family that we first learn about honesty, integrity, and empathy. These values become our moral compass, guiding our behavior throughout our lives. As we've discussed, corruption corrodes trust, hampers economic growth, and fuels social instability. But here's where the family can make a difference. By instilling strong ethical foundations in children, families can serve as a bulwark against corruption. It's in the home where we learn to make principled choices, to stand against unfair practices, and to uphold transparency. Families also play a proactive role in combating corruption through active community engagement and open communication. And so, when families prioritize integrity and moral character, they create a more resilient defense against corruption, contributing to a society built on principles of honesty, accountability, and transparency.